This is an aventurine brown, so it has gold flecks in it. It's very pretty with that ivory color. So I'm going to start adding some of this. I'm not, you know, I don't like patterns, so I'm going to end up doing something with this. I'm letting this melt in now. So I'm keeping both of them in the flame, and you'll eventually see it'll start getting the top part I just put on. Now I could leave it just like that if I wanted to. There's no rules with the beads. See how that's getting softer? And you just turn it around until it gets melted in. You also have to work with the gravity of the bead. So as you're turning it, if I leave that down like that, it'll start to droop down. So you have to keep turning it. It's getting rounder. Okay. So actually, like I said, I like flat beads. So this is a masher. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mash it. I'm going to put it back in the flame. And I want to get rid of the little marks that the masher made, so that's why when you do something to the hot bead, usually it'll leave a mark, so you have to kind of try to get rid of that with the heat. This is called a marver, and this helps you. You can, you can manipulate it if it's getting. You can shape it. Every time you do something, though, you have to put it back in the flame. And then I'm going to do twisted it a little bit. I'm going to add a little black around the ends just to make it, I just like the way that looks. So I don't have to, I could finish it at this point, but this is just a little thing I like to do. Then you have to make sure that everything is hot before you take it off. I could add silver wire. I used to add fine silver wire. You can add metal leaf to these. You can do a lot of different things. Before you take it out of the flame, just make sure you like everything shaped. And make sure the whole thing is hot. Turn the flame down, and you're trying to cool it just a little bit, but not too much, just to get that red hot out. And then you put it in the vermiculite. It'll sit in there for an hour or two before you can take it out. I can screw the bead off, and then it'll be ready for the next step, which is the final annealing in my big kiln.
Wow.
And that's how you make a torch work glass or lamp work glass. The olden days they called it lamp work because they used a lamp. So we call it torch work because, we use a torch now. And that's the way the Italian Moretti glass beads are made. I can put things together, but most of them are good. Now there are some that I have in my mind. I'll try to make something. Glass is difficult to work with, and I'll try to make it, and it'll be a total nightmare. And so I'll try a couple times, and if I haven't gotten any farther, then I let it go. And maybe next year, there's one design I've been working on for about 10 years probably, and you know, if I ever get it out, I'll be really happy. I will, you know, that's when you jump up and down and dance and say, oh, golly, is that all I had to do? So, yeah, but I'm really pretty lucky. Most of them, and then some of them take like, you know, months to figure out, oh, this has to go this way and that has to go that way. Well, it wasn't so much of I wasn't inspired, but it was a life decision. I was at CNN, and I was at the point where I was going to leave CNN, and I was 40, and my choice was get another job or try to do this full time while I'm young enough to do it, and I knew that was my choice. So I knew I could fail, but the only way to find out is if I tried it. So that was kind of a life decision, I think. When I started this 12 years ago, one of the things that has allowed me to do it over the years is that I had to refocus myself on God and allow Him to take the fear and anxiety of trying to have a business on my own and support myself. It's a very, you know, there's nothing sure about being when you're an artist and you're trying to pay your bills. So I basically had to give myself over to God at that point. And that has allowed me to, you know, have the perseverance, basically, to do this over the years. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, are we going? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is my kiln. It's a small kiln because I have a small house and I work from my home. And this was the space I had. So this was the largest kiln that I could buy that fit in my space. And sometimes life is like that. But I do have a kiln, and it does what I need it to. This is the final step for my fused glass. For the torchwork glass beads, I put them in this kiln, and they anneal for about 11 hours. The fused glass, these are examples. This is the earrings I made earlier. And I would have a whole tray made normally of earrings. And it would take them... The firing process is about 7 hours. It goes to about almost 1,500 degrees. And I do a venting of the kiln where it reaches a certain point, I open the lid so it'll freeze the glass where it is so it doesn't get any softer than I want it. This is an example of the earrings that will be finished after they're out of the kiln. Sometimes I have to file the edges of my glass. If they have sharp edges, I will take the time to file them so they don't cut you on your neck. And the last thing I want to tell you about my jewelry, which I forgot, I try to write a message on all of my art necklaces. So when you purchase an art necklace, I will usually on the back of one of the glass pieces etch some kind of message that I think may be helpful to you in your life. This one says, walk in the Spirit. Sometimes I put quotes from the Bible on the back, but all of my customers have some kind of spiritual base, and they feel connected with my jewelry when they buy it. And I think it's part of my mission to send somebody with a message that might be able to help them one day in their life. And there have been examples when people have called me and told me that they read the back of their necklace and it was what they needed on that day. So I feel very blessed to try to do that, and it uplifts me, and I think it uplifts my customers.